So our original problem was to look at the relationship between irrigation water, industrial water, and residential water use. I thought I had a data set at the watershed level for the entire US, which seemed like a great magnitude to work on in this data workshop. When I went to actually download that data last night, it no longer existed. So we were starting from sort of semi-scratch. We came up with the USGS data set for county level, many similar variables. We spent a good deal of time figuring out exactly what that data looked like by importing it into Excel, rearranging headers, playing with it a bit in Python. We did manage to graph several variations of it in Python. Yay, there we go, examples. One of the issues we ran up against, for instance, was that we tried to graph all of the counties in California in Python, and it appeared to say Marin under this very tall peak, and we thought, oh, that really doesn't make any sense. For those of you who don't know California, Marin's a really rural county. It didn't make any sense that they were using that much water. And it turned out that the labels were really just squished together so much that we couldn't tell what county we were actually looking at.
Los Angeles.
Turns out to be Los Angeles. That was, yeah. So we played a bit with Python for a while, but ultimately we really wanted to see the geographic version of this data. And because it was county level as opposed to state level, that was not so easy to do in Python. And we switched over to CartoDB. The process of getting it into CartoDB was equally a challenge. The data itself did not have shapefiles. We had to download a zip file of the shapefiles, import that, merge it in CartoDB to get a geographically aligned set of variables. With a great deal of help from Jeremy, we were actually able to do that. And so we were, in fact, able to map a number of California variables. I think we probably could, with a little more time, get to something like what we had originally envisioned, but that was about as far as we got today. Questions? That's irrigation water. That's the Central Valley. That's where all the agriculture is. Yeah. We learned a lot. We learned that we should make much shorter headers much earlier on, that we wanted to copy lots of things out into notebooks where we could access them quickly and easily. No, like somewhere where you can copy and paste things in and out of easily. We found ourselves switching back and forth a lot from Excel to the various data views. I mean, that may be just because really none of us have any programming experience. So the Excel file made it much easier for us to sort of have some sense of what we were looking at and thinking about. Anybody else? Right. Because the data file that we accessed had headings that were full paragraphs, pretty much. I mean, they were very descriptive, but
We had the nulls or the nuns and the dashes.
yeah, we had an issue with data cleaning for a while. Any of you guys have anything to add? From this? The question was, what story would you write? My answer is, this isn't a story yet. I mean, it's, we got to the point where we could look at the data more effectively, but
So what are the headlines this week? What is the groundwater usage for agriculture versus, no, that's the wrong one. Let's see. Anyway, not from the slide, but basically the groundwater has become an issue in California just recently. And so there's a story there somewhere, but no, we didn't find any data that led us to any storyline yet.
correct. The question is this data by county? And yes, it is. Probably. Would have been nice to have the watershed data. Population data also, yeah, definitely.
Next step is put all the data together, and match it up. And if we can use CartoDB or some other tool to kind of dig down into that data, you can see what's underneath. So you have the top layer, and you can keep on digging down below that. And that's where we may come up with something else as the story. So.
Have a time series. So we have a time series, so we've got the last 25 years of this data. We just didn't get as far as, you could, for instance, have been able to animate it, but we didn't get that far.